Welcome back, students. In the last video we learned about the plant tissues. In this video we learn about the animal tissue. Animal tissue is broadly divided into four types of tissue: epithelial tissue, muscular tissue, connective tissue and nervous tissue. Epithelial tissue is responsible for protection. It gives us protection by covering. Muscular tissue is responsible for the movement and locomotion. Connective tissue is responsible for the binding, support and transport. Okay. And nervous tissue is responsible for control and coordination. Now epithelial tissues are of five types: squamous epithelial tissue, which is flattened; cuboidal epithelial tissue, which is cubical in nature, shape; columnar, which is a pillar-like structure; ciliated, hair-like structure; and glandular, secretory. In muscular tissue, it is of three types: striated, non-striated, cardiac. Striated, non-striated, cardiac. Now, connective tissues are of three types, rather five types: areolar, supporting, adipose, skeletal, and fluid. In supporting, there are two types of tissues: tendon and ligament. Skeletal is further divided into cartilage and bone. Fluid is further divided into blood and lymph. Now we will study in detail. Now, epithelial tissue. Epithelial tissues are the protective tissues of the human body. It generally covers all the many organs and cavities that are present inside the body. Now, where are these epithelial tissue found? What is the location of this epithelial tissue? The lining of the blood vessels, the lining of the mouth, kidney tubules, skin, lung alveoli. Now, what are the structure and functions of this epithelial tissue? The main function of the epithelial tissue is to act as a barrier. It acts as a barrier and separate different organs and systems from each other. It separates organs and different organs and systems from each other. Like respiratory system is not connected with the digestive system, right? Both the systems are separated. So it acts as a barrier. There is no space between the cells of the epithelial tissue. The epithelial tissue, in this, the intercellular spaces are absent. The cells are permeable. It is permeable. It allows all the molecules to pass through. This makes it possible. The cells are permeable. That is why it makes possible for them to exchange materials between different parts of the body, and also between the body and the external environment. Like we exchange the gases, we excrete sweat. Okay, this is why the cells are permeable. It facilitates the exchange of gases, sweat and excretion of sweat and etc. Now the epithelial tissue remains separated from the tissues beneath them because of a thin membrane cover them. Epithelial tissues, it remains separated from the tissues beneath them because of a thin membrane cover over them. Now, as I told you that these are the different types of epithelium: squamous epithelium, cuboidal, columnar, okay, and transitional. So you can see simple squamous, stratified squamous; simple cuboidal, stratified cuboidal; simple columnar, pseudophyte columnar, and transitional. You can see that the intercellular spaces are absent. Columnar is a pillar-like and the flat. It is okay. So it is like this. Now, we will study in detail that simple squamous epithelium, they have a delicate cell lining and possess flat thin structure. Okay, it possesses flat thin structure. And the stratified epithelium cells are arranged in several layers. See, it is flat. Simple squamous epithelium, it is flat in structure, and stratified squamous, the cells are arranged in several layers. Okay. In columnar, they are column-like shapes, tissues, and in ciliated columnar, they have a cilia present on them. Okay. See, in columnar, this is columnar, this is the columnar, it is a column-like structure, and in ciliated columnar epithelium, they have a cilia, hair-like structure present on them. Cuboidal, they are cube-like cells which are involved in absorption and secretion. Okay, and let me show you the cuboidal. Cuboidal, these are structure which are, these are these cube-like structures which helps in absorption and secretion. Okay, these structure helps in absorption and secretion. Then glandular epithelium, they secrete gland that can secrete substances. Now, where this simple squamous epithelium are present? In alveoli, in Bowman's capsule of nephron, in kidney. Okay, stratified squamous epitheliums are present in skin, the entire skin. Columnar in the intestine, as it helps in absorption. So, it is in column-like cell. You can imagine the finger-like structure villi. And ciliated respiratory system, because if the any food particles enters into the trachea, it is lined with a ciliated epithelium. It expels the food out of the trachea, and it is also present in the fallopian tube. Okay, so that the ovary gets pushed into the fallopian tube. Cuboidal is present in the kidney tubules because it helps in absorption and secretion. Glandular, it secretes substances like sweat, sweat glands in the skin. Okay, it secretes sweat gland secretes sweat in the skin. Now, connective tissue. Connective tissue, the structure and function of a connective tissue. Connective, from the word only you can understand, the connective tissue means that it is connecting the organs or binding the organs, okay, or supporting the organs. So these are loosely bound cells present in an intercellular matrix. The matrix can be of different types. It can be of different types: dense, rigid, fluid, or jelly-like. Okay, the matrix means the floor of the cell. That depending upon the functionality of the connective tissue, the nature of the matrix varies in them. Depending upon the function, means what function they are performing, the nature of the matrix varies. Okay, now there are these types of six types of connective tissue: loose connective tissue, adipose tissue, blood, that means blood comes under fluid tissue, blood and lymph, fibrous connective tissue, cartilage, and bone. Okay, these are different types of your connective tissues. Okay, connective tissue, loose connective tissues are found under the skin. Okay, it is found under the skin. Adipose tissue, that means it is a fat tissue. It is a fat tissue. Blood, in under the blood there are three types of cellular elements: red blood cell, white blood cell, and platelets. Okay, and blood, in blood is composed of the cellular element and plasma. Plasma is responsible for the, means it acts as a medium for the transportation of cellular elements. Now, fibrous connective tissue, it forms a ligament. Okay, it forms a ligament and tendon. Ligament which connects bone to bone, and tendon connects bone to muscle. Now, cartilage, it is also hard but not as hard as bone. At the end of a bone, it is flexible in nature, and it is present at the tip of the nose or in your ear. Okay, and bone is very hard. It is made up of calcium and phosphorus. Now, blood and lymph are the fluid connective tissue. The main function of the blood is to transport gases, right? It transports oxygen to the different parts of the gas and uh, different parts of these body cells, and it excretes carbon dioxide, right? So it transports gases, food, waste materials, plants, and hormones in the body. And the as I told you that blood is composed of two parts. One is plasma and the other is cellular element. Plasma acts as a medium for the transportation of this cellular element. Now, this plasma contains the red blood cell, white blood cell, and platelets. RBC have hemoglobin. This is why it is red in color. The human bloods are red in color due to the presence of an iron containing pigment, which is known as hemoglobin. It transports oxygen, it binds and transports oxygen to the different parts of the body. White blood cells fight against the diseases, and platelets is involved in clotting of blood when injured. So plasma also contains protein and hormones in it. Now, lymph is a colorless fluid. It is a colorless fluid. that carries white blood cells throughout the human body in lymphatic vessels. And these are the lymphoid organs present in the body that produce lymph, and together it forms the lymphatic system. Some of the lymph nodes and tonsils are lymph nodes and tonsils. Now you can see now how this lymph is formed. You can see the lymph capillaries over here. Actually what happens there, there are some few substances there, it secretes when the blood flows through the vessels, it secretes a substances, a liquid fluid like substances, which channelize into one duct that is known as lymphatic duct, and where the lymphs are present. Understood? See, the which are secreted, it undergoes in the one channel which forms a lymph. Clear? You can see that from arteriole and venuole, it is releasing of, it is leaking some substances, which this substances getting under this green color into the one channel which is known as lymphatic vessel. Now, lymph is similar to blood except for a few differences. Now, what are the differences? It contains white blood cell. Blood also contains white blood cell. It contains less amount of blood protein, calcium and phosphorus, but more glucose, right? Because it needs energy. It flows in one direction only. Lymph moves in the body through its normal function, unlike blood. Blood is pumped by the heart, but the lymph is not pumped by the heart. It flows in the body in a normal function. Now, what are the constituents of lymph? Lymph plasma carries infection fighting proteins because it has a WBC. It carries WBC, which helps in fighting against the infection, along with other substances such as water, calcium and phosphorus. Lymph corpuscle comprises white blood cell, as I already told you, and red blood cells and platelets are not present in lymph. These are absent. Now, what are the functions of lymph? That it carries oxygen and minerals to all the cells in the body and carries back carbon dioxide and waste materials back into the blood. It carries back carbon dioxide and waste materials into the blood. It keeps the body cells moist. It maintains the volume of the blood. It helps in eliminating the harmful bacteria and virus from the body, and hence responsible for the immunity. Okay, and it absorbs fat from the intestine. It absorbs fat from the intestine and transports them throughout the body. Now, bone. Okay, bones form a framework of the body. We know it forms a skeletal system in which the muscles are wrapped together. The bone tissue is strong and inflexible. It is not flexible in nature, and therefore the bone cells are present in a rigid matrix which are formed from calcium and phosphorus. The bone cells which are present in a matrix we call ostium. Okay, osteo. The word osteo is related to bone, and it is made up of calcium and phosphorus. Now, Haversian canal. The bone comprises of microscopic tubes called Haversian canals. You can see this microscopic tubes, this one. This is called Haversian canals. These are contained in rough osteons. Osteons are the bone cells, rough cylindrical. You can see the cylindrical like structure present along the axis of the bone. They allow the blood vessels, lymphatic vessels and nerve vessels to travel through them. This allows the blood vessels, lymphatic vessel to travel through them. This Haversian canal, and this canal have a concentric channels. Okay, canals have a concentric channels which are called lamellae around them, and the Haversian canal communicate with bone cells through connection when like the cell one bone cell connect with the other bone cell. How? With the help of the canaliculi. Okay, with the help of the canaliculi. Okay, and this red color is osteocyte, which is a bone cell. Now, cartilage. Cartilage is present over the joints of the bones and provides them with a smooth structure. And it is also present in the nose tip, as I already told you, ear pinna, trachea and larynx. Okay, now they contain solid matrix made up of protein and sugar. It is contains solid matrix made up of protein and sugar. They have a homogeneous matrix, and it provides support and flexibility to various parts of the body. Okay, it provides support and flexibility. Bone is inflexible, but cartilage is flexible. Now ligaments and tendon. Ligament connects two bones together and it has an elasticity which facilitates the connection. Now you must have seen that the footballer ligament has torn, or somebody has suddenly the ligament has torn. Why? Because it is elastic in nature. That is why it gets torn. And the ligament connects bone to bone. It connects bone to bone and having a little matrix, whereas tendon is responsible for connecting bones and muscles together. It connects bone and muscles, and they have limited flexibility. It is not so flexible but provides very great strength. Now areolar tissue. This tissue acts as a filter in between the spaces present inside the organs of the body. This tissue, it acts as a filter in between the spaces present inside the organs of the body, and it helps in preparing other tissues as well. It is found in the skin and bone marrow. This areolar tissue is found in the skin and bone marrow. These are the components of the areolar connective tissue: macrophage, which can kill the cells, harmful cells; fibroblast, lymphocyte, WBC, fat cell, mast cell, neutrophil; and this collagen fiber, elastic fiber, reticular fiber, capillaries, and so on. Okay. Now, cells and fibers. The fat cells, that means fat, as I told you, adipose tissue, it is a fat tissue. So, adipocytes, so they are responsible for the secretion of lipids. These are responsible for the secretion of lipids. Fibroblasts, they are present in the highest amount in areolar tissue. It is present in the areolar tissue, and they are responsible for secretion of fibers. Mast cells, they release histamine. They release histamine that plays role in allergic reaction. Macrophage can eat germs or infectious body, and plasma cells produce antibodies. So this fibroblast produces fibers. This lymphocyte gives us immunity. This fat cell produce lipids. This mast cell, uh, just now we said, releases histamine, which if you have any allergy, this mast cell releases histamine to fight against that allergen. Okay, neutrophil is helps in phagocytosis, that means engulfs bacteria. Macrophage helps in engulfing bacteria, and capillary, we know that it helps in exchanging of gases. Now fibers. There are three fibers: collagen fibers, elastin fibers, and ground fiber substances. Collagen fibers provide tensile strength to the tissues. Okay, it provides tensile strength to the tissue. It provides strength to the tissues. Elasticity, elastin, it provides elasticity, and ground substance, it is a fluid matrix that holds cells and fibers of the tissue. Okay, so collagen, it provides tensile strength; elastic fiber, it provides elasticity; and reticular ground, so these are the ground substances which gives which binds cells and fibers. Now adipose tissue, as I told you, fats are stored in our body in the adipose tissue, and they are found just below the skin, beneath the skin, and between the organs of the bodies. Provides cushioning to the organs so that the organs can be protected. Now muscular tissue. Muscular tissue, it is made up of muscle fibers, which are long cells, and it allows movement and locomotion in our body. Now how do muscles can cause movement? Muscle has one special protein which is known as contractile protein, and this protein causes contraction and relaxation of the muscles. This protein causes contraction and relaxation of the muscles. Now there are three types of muscular tissue. Okay, uh, cardiac, skeletal, and smooth. Okay, voluntary. We can also say voluntary, involuntary, and cardiac muscle. Cardiac muscle is also a type of involuntary muscle. Okay, we will come to this picture again. Now, skeletal, striated, skeletal, or voluntary muscles. That means striated, skeletal, and voluntary muscle are the muscles which move according to your will. But smooth, unstriated, involuntary muscles are the muscle which are, these are the other name. Okay, so these are the muscles which move, which does not move according to your will. Now skeletal, from the word only we can understand that they are also called skeletal muscles as they are attached to bones. They are attached to bones. And the unstriated, it is a smooth muscle. We call it smooth muscles. Now why do we call it striated muscle? Because of the presence of dark and light bands over there. Because of the presence of dark and lightning band over there. See, skeletal muscle, we have the dark and light band, dark and light band. Understood? But in this, you see, they are tapered at the end. See, they are tapered. They are cylindrical and blunt-like structure. They have a blunt-like structure at the end, but they have tapered. They are also cylindrical but tapered at the end. And these are also cylindrical but connected to one another, the cardiac muscle. So the muscles are called unstriated because they do not have light or dark bands on them. Now the cells of the voluntary muscles have more than one nucleus. Okay, and they do not have any branches. They have long cylindrical structure with blunt ends. But the cells of the involuntary muscles are long and have pointed ends. They have a pointed ends. So where do we see the skeletal muscles? In our hand, legs, and the striated muscles, because we can move according to our will, the hand and leg. But the smooth muscle we see in the alimentary canal, in the organs, internal organs, in the visceral organs, and the iris of eye. Okay. Now cardiac muscles. Cardiac muscles are also special kind of involuntary muscles because it cannot work according to our will. Okay. So this is why it is known as an involuntary muscles. Now the muscle of the heart are called cardiac muscle because they perform rhythmic contraction and relaxation. Lub dub, because the heart beats, and they are cylindrical in shape as I told you, and they have branches, and there is only a single nucleus. Okay, and cardiac muscle consists of individual heart muscle cells intercalated and work as a single functional organ. See, there are branches like structure, and they each contain one nucleus. Now, nervous tissue, the last nervous tissue. Now, how do we react to stimuli? Now, what do you mean by stimuli? Stimuli is the agent due to which our body responds. Okay. So, how do we react to stimuli? Because of the nervous tissue present in our body. They are capable of transmitting information quickly from the brain to the different parts of the body. Okay, and vice versa, from the brain again to the body parts. Therefore, nervous tissues are found in nerves, brain, and spinal cord. So, nervous tissue is comprised of brain, spinal cord, and nerves. And these nervous tissues are made up of cells called nerve cells or neuron. Neuron are the structure and functional unit of nervous system. Now these neurons connect together. There are many neurons connect together to form a nerves. It connects together to form a nerve. Now it has an elongated cell with a cell body consisting of some branch like structure called dendrites, nucleus at the center, nerve endings at the axon ending, and the nerve cell can be up to 1 meter long. This is the neuron anatomy. Okay, this structure is known as cyton or soma, or we call perikaryon. They contain nucleus and all the organelles, ribosome, endoplasmic reticulum, and these are dendron, and the branches are dendrites. Dendrites receive the impulse from the stimuli, the receptors which receive the impulse due to the dendrite, because dendrite only receive the impulses. This is Schwann cells, and when it is covered, then it is known as myelinated neuron, and this is a cable-like structure is known as axon, and these are the axon endings. Okay, and the gap is known as node of Ranvier. Now, dendrites are tree-like extension at the beginning of a neuron, which increases the surface area so that it can receive the impulse from different neurons of the body, and then this chemical signal is converted into electrical signal and pass them to the neural cell body. A neuron can have dendrite or multiple dendrites. Now, cell body, also called soma or perikaryon or cyton. Okay. Now, the main function of the cell body of and nucleus is to maintain the function of the cell, because as we know that nucleus controls and coordinates all the activities of the cell. It does not play any active role in the transmission of the signal. It produces protein that required by different parts of the neuron to work properly. Okay. Now it contains different cell organelles such as mitochondria, Golgi apparatus, etc. that perform various functions of the cell. Now the long cable which I told you, that which is axon, they have one axon in general. It is long structure that connects the cell body to the nerve endings, to the nerve terminals. It allows fast transmission of signals. The larger the diameter of the axon, the faster it will transmit signal. And as I told you that it is if it is covered with myelin sheath, it helps in insulation. It acts as an insulator and helps in rapid transmission of signal. Now the schwann cell, the myelin sheath that covers the axon, is produced by schwann cell. If the myelin sheath is covered the axon, it is produced by schwann cell, and this myelin sheath keeps the signal intact. It does not let the signal break. Okay. So this was all about the animal tissue. So if you have any doubt, kindly let me know so that I can clear your doubt. Study at home, stay safe. Thank you.